What's good? My name is Tish Collins, and I pray that life is being kind to y'all. If this is your first time coming across my channel, welcome. If you're coming by, I appreciate you so much, all right? This video is going to be me simply telling y'all all of the products that I currently use, the frequency, and all of that, where I get them from, all right? So let's go ahead and get right into it. All right, first up, these two products. If you ever see this bottle right here, it's just water by itself and nothing else. If you see me using a black bottle in some of my videos, it's the same concept. It's just water straight from the faucet. Now, if you use rose water or some other concoction with your water, then hey, you keep doing that. But for me specifically, and on my personal life journey, just water from the faucet works just fine. Okay, this product right here, Camille Rose Honey Hydrate Leave-In Conditioner. Now, I mist my locks with water, and then I go in with a quarter size amount of this Camille Rose Honey Hydrate Leave-In Conditioner for my entire head of locks. Okay, now I will do this. I will mist and then do a quarter size amount of the leave-in conditioner. I will do this nearly every day. Okay, for me, it just comes down to discretion at the end of the day. All right. For example, if I mist with water and then I use the Camille Rose Honey Hydrate Leave-In Conditioner yesterday, and then today when I woke up, I'm looking at my locks and I'm like, yo, y'all still, y'all moisturize, y'all still got your movement, you still look good, you look shiny, you don't look dull, then I won't do it. I will not mist, nor will I use the Camille Rose Honey Hydrate Leave-In Conditioner because, again, discretion. If I feel like my locks do not lack any moisture, then I will not add any more to them. Now, if you want to do it every single day, if you want to mist your locks every single day, then hey, you do that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And I used to do that. However, again, discretion. And you kind of learn what works for you and the frequency and all of that. All right. So just for me, I'll skip a day every now and again. I don't have specific days. It's just discretion. Water straight from the faucet. Camille Rose Honey Hydrate Leave-In Conditioner. Ulta, Amazon, Target. I only get it from Ulta now. Okay, if you in the community, then you know. All right, but for these two products, that's what it is. All right, let's move right along. Next up, oils. For the most part, I use this Jamaican Black Kaiser oil right here. And then I just started using this I.am Dry and Itchy Scalp Care oil. I got this one specifically for the problem areas at the back of my head. Long story short, when I first started my lock journey, it was like 2 to 3 specific spots at the back of my head that would scab up, get irritated, itchy, and all that. Right? So this was like one of the products that helped me completely fix those areas at the back of my head. I don't have those problems. If you want to know exactly how I fixed the problem completely, just go watch the Loc Wash Day routine. They'll tell you all that you need to know. All right. The only place that I have been able to find this specific brand is on Amazon. The I.am Dry and Itchy Scalp Care directly from their website. That is where I purchase the I.am products now, directly from their website. All right. I oil my scalp 1 to 2 times a week. I find that my scalp don't really get dry for real. It don't really get itchy. It don't really bother me for the most part. But yeah, once or twice a week for the oiling of my scalp, and I sit on that day. Next up, a do-rag. I only use do-rags. I personally just do not use bonnets. However, whatever floats your boat. Okay. Now I use do-rags because for me, they have never slipped off. They have never caused me any issues. But then furthermore, when I first started my lock journey, my loctician suggested that I use a do-rag and not a bonnet. All right. So that's just been what I've been on ever since I started my lock journey. I sleep in a do-rag, and y'all, honestly, if I'm at the crib and I'm just chilling, my do-rag is on. Like, my do-rag is on 98% of the time. Unless I'm doing a video, unless I gotta go outside, unless I gotta go to class or something. But if I'm at home chilling, expect for my do-rag to be on. All right. When I shower, especially when I first started my lock journey, and my locks were still babies, so that the unraveling could lessen, because they gonna unravel. Especially if you just tapped into your journey, please just expect it to unravel. It's normal, all right? So to minimize the unraveling, especially along my edges, I used to do, well, I still do, but I would put the do-rag on, and then I would use this shower cap right here. I got this particular shower cap, all right? It's like a cloth material on the inside, and then it's like the little bonnet joint on the outside. All right. So I put the do-rag on, and then I put the shower cap over it. Now I still do this. However, I only do the do-rag in the shower cap right after I get a retwist. All right. To minimize the frizz and to kind of get some longevity out of the retwist. And then at 3 weeks, I wash my locks, so I don't even do it no more because it don't even matter. Because once I wash it, all of the frizz is gonna come back 100%, so it don't even really matter. Speaking of showers, all right, what I use to wash my locks, okay? In the shower, I do 2 shampoo washes, all right? The first wash, I go in with this Sulfur 8 shampoo right here. The second wash, I go in with this excuse me, okay? Excuse me, my apologies, all right? Do-rags. Okay, you can find these pretty much anywhere. Okay, Amazon, Walmart, Target, if you support these locations. Beauty Supply, Sally. This could be found at Sally Beauty. Any of those types of places, you can find you a do-rag. Now, this bonnet right here, I specifically got this one from Amazon, but I'm 100% sure out of all of the places that I just named, you can find this at one of those places. All right. Bite to this here. So the Sulfur 8 shampoo, I do the very first wash with 8, and then the second wash, I go in with the IM Dry and Itchy Scalp Care shampoo, okay? Now the Sulfur 8 I got from Amazon, and then the IM shampoo, I get it strictly from their website, all right? After I do the 2 shampoo washes in the shower, I go in with the Camille Rose Honey Hydrate Leave-In Conditioner, all right? And then after I do the leave-in conditioner, I go in and I oil the majority of my scalp with the Jamaican Black Hyssa oil, and then those little problem areas at the back of my head, I go in and I use the IM Dry and Itchy Scalp oil. All right. So I wash my locks every 3 weeks. All right. So here's the breakdown. I go get a retwist. Once the retwist is 3 weeks old, I wash my locks. Now, I chose 3 weeks specifically to wash my locks because that's when those 2 to 3 spots at the back of my head will really flare up, trip out, get irritated, and just start really just like tripping on my scalp. All right. So around the 3-week mark is when I realized that was happening. So that's why I chose 3 weeks specifically to wash my locks. All right. At 3 weeks, I wash my locks. 3 weeks later will make 6 weeks, which is when I'm going to get a retwist again. All right. So that's when my loctician washes my locks. All right. I feel like I kind of stumbled across that. I don't know why. Really fast. Let's run a bike. I go get a retwist. Once the retwist is 3 weeks old, I wash my locks with the Sulfur 8 shampoo, the IM. I go in with the Camille Rules. I hit the oils on the scalp and all of that. All right. 3 weeks later, we are not at 6 weeks. This is when I'm going to go get a retwist, and then my loctician washes my locks at my retwist appointment. It's included in the service, okay? But yeah, that's pretty much it for right. This is what my loctician uses when she retwists my locks. The JOIE My Gel, all right? Now, if you want to try this, because I do not recommend any products and I don't recommend anything specifically for your locks. I simply just show y'all my personal lock journey and what I'm using, okay? Bite to this. If you choose to try this, make sure you get the version that says extra hold on there. Make sure it says extra hold on the label, okay? This is the regular version, but my loctician uses the one that says extra hold on it, all right? Amazon is where I used to purchase this. Real fires. Let's talk about it. Buildup, because a lot of y'all see me using Camille Rose Honey Hydrate Leave-In Conditioner, and then y'all be asking me about Buildup. I personally don't worry about Buildup, and here is why. I only use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 products on my locks, okay? These are the only 2 products that I am using on a frequent basis, okay? So when y'all ask me about Buildup, I don't really be tripping on it because I know that I'm not using an excessive amount. Well, first of all, she just water. Water ain't never hurt nobody. But this right here, this Camille Rose Honey Hydrate Leave-In Conditioner, I'm using such a minimal amount of it that it's just like I don't really trip about the buildup, but then also the consistency is really extremely lightweight. So when y'all ask me about buildup, I just don't be it just don't be a concern of mine. And I know we talking about longevity and over time. You know, the more you use it, the more, you know, I got all of that. But still, my mentality is, if we talking about keeping your locks for the longevity for years and years, and hopefully for the rest of your life, then you got to expect some amount of buildup. But then there's precautions you can take, and then there's also after actions that you can take. And we talking about detoxing and all of that. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, these are the only two products that I am using on a frequent basis. I use her once a week, once to twice a week, but it's mostly once a week for the most part. All right. These two shampoos are only being used at the 3 week mark. Okay. This JOIE, my gel, is only being used on my scalp once every 6 weeks. Okay. Outside of this gel, I don't use gels on my locks. If y'all look at a lot of my videos, I don't slick bike my edges. After once the retwist is gone, it's gone. I'm not slicking bike no edges. I'm not putting any extra products in my locks. Outside of that, that's it. I don't use anything else on my locks. I don't put anything else on my locks. And I'm extremely particular about this on purpose. I am very particular about the products that I use. Before I use a product, I research thoroughly. I'm looking at reviews from every angle. I'm watching videos. Like, I actually get to know the product mentally before I use it. But then, even then, I do a test run and a test trial on all products. I thoroughly have to test out each and every product that I use, especially before I come tell the mices. So yeah, that's about all I got about Buildup. However, if you want a more in-depth personal take from me, then there's a video called Loc Buildup. So you can go check it out. To wrap all of this here up, these are just the products that I specifically use on my lock journey. But yeah, that's it of this here. I feel like I didn't forget nothing. I feel like I told y'all what everything was, where I get everything from, and how often I use everything. Yeah. That's the end of this here video. I appreciate you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. You can connect with me on all social media platforms at I am Tish Collins. I pray that today in life is being kind to you. And if it isn't, then I pray that tomorrow and every day after we'll be all right. Y'all keep going. All right? No matter what, we keep going. All right? I love y'all deeply, and I'll chop it up with y'all later.